Good afternoon and welcome to this press conference with Executive Vice President Henna Virkkunen on the next steps for the upcoming AI Gigafactories. Executive Vice President, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much and good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here and inform you about our call for interest for AI Gigafactories, because I can tell that it was a great success. So we are very thrilled by the overwhelming response to the call of expression of interest on AI Gigafactories. We got 76 submissions proposing to set up AI Gigafactories in 16 member states and across 60 different sites. And this exceeds far beyond our expectations and showcases Europe's growing momentum and enthusiasm for innovating in AI in Europe. Our initial goal was to help to establish 4 or 5 new AI Gigafactories, so this is a very positive sign of interest. 76 submissions in 16 member states and across 60 different sites. Although these are not formal applications, but they will play a substantial role in helping the European Commission and also member states now to identify and also create a dynamic non-binding roster of potential candidates ready to establish world-class AI Gigafactory facilities across the European Union. And this is also a very powerful signal, proving also that the ambition to build a sovereign world-class AI infrastructure resonates deeply across our European Union and also beyond. Europe's industry, investors and public sector are ready to build, aligning with the bold vision and ambitious goals set in the AI Continent Action Plan. These AI Gigafactories, they will be game changers, integrating cutting-edge computing power, energy-efficient data centers and AI-driven competitiveness. They create an ecosystem and gather resources, capabilities and funding, allowing European industry the means to compete globally. These facilities are crucial for developing, training and deploying next-generation AI models at scale, potentially involving trillions of parameters. You remember when President von der Leyen launched this Invest AI initiative in Paris in AI Summit beginning of the year. The objective was to mobilize more than 200 billion euro for investments in AI, with 20 billion euro for AI infrastructure. These proposals we have received are not just numerous, they are immense in scale. Collectively, these respondents, they have expressed their intention to invest for an indicative total amount of more than 230 billion euros in AI Gigafactories over the next 3 to 5 years. Of course, these 230 billion euros, it does not mean that all these intentions will materialize for investments, but of course this is very positive news that we have so much interest to invest to Europe. And it seems that Europe is a place for AI investments and competitiveness also. So together they have now indicated plans to acquire at least also 3 million of the latest generation AI processors in total. So 3 million of the latest generation AI processors also in total. And this demonstrates confidence in Europe's leadership in AI, and also that we have a real opportunity to position Europe as a global powerhouse in AI. The respondents form a very diverse group, including our major European companies, companies in data centers, telecoms and also power suppliers. They include both European global technology partners and also financial investors, demonstrating that Europe is an attractive place for investment. The proposals they submitted also confirm that our suggested public-private partnership model is appropriate to mobilize the necessary capital and also expertise. So, establishing Europe's first AI Gigafactories will demand significant investments and also coordinated policy action. They will serve as a flagship project for the competitiveness coordination tool, providing tangible benefits for EU competitiveness on the global stage. So this call, this was just a starting point. now the real work begins. My services will soon enter in bilateral discussions with all respondents and also the concerned member states to prepare the next steps for the AI Gigafactory initiative. The Commission plans to launch an official call for establishing AI Gigafactories in the EU in the end of 2025 under the Euro-HPC joint undertaking. So the message from across Europe is very clear and also united. The moment to shape our AI future is now. The interest is real, the ambition is very strong, and the investment is within reach. So we must now act very decisively to turn this momentum into lasting leadership. We will now harness this momentum to make our vision of AI continent a reality. So thank you very much for your attention, and now I'm ready to also take your questions.
Thank you. Let's start with questions in the room. Barbara, and please take a mic just in front of you.
Does it work? No.
It seems to be working. It's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Barbara Moons, Financial Times. I have a question on the DMA, if I may. The Commission said on Friday that Meta only made limited changes to comply with the DMA on advertising. So are you planning to impose periodic penalties retroactively? Thank you.
After the Friday, our teams, they have been now assessing the changes what Apple and Meta has announced that what they have done. So we are now planning the next steps, but still the assessing work is going on by our teams, and we will come back to that when they have finalized it.
Thank you very much. EVP, can I please ask first questions on the topic of the day? So please on AI and on AI Gigafactories. And then we may open the floor to other questions. Do we still have other questions on AI? Yes, please, Maximilian. You have plenty of them.
Thank you.
It's working. That's fine. Yeah.
Maximilian Henning, Tagesspiegel. You just said the initial goal was for 4 or 5 AI Gigafactories. Does that mean you're expanding the goal? Thank you.
Yes, so of course this was very positive outcome we got from this call for interest, even that it was not binding, but it really shows because 76 stakeholders were now really announcing that they are interested in and they want to continue the planning together with us. So it seems that we will reach these 4 to 5 gigafactories, but of course now we start to work with those stakeholders who were interested in, and also we are now, of course, working with the selection criteria for the official call, which will happen later in this year, maybe November will be the time. But of course this was very positive, and especially also the investments of what the stakeholders are planning, more than 200 billion euros. And we can also see that the applicants that all our top industries, they are with. And it really shows that how committed to European industries and investors in Europe, but also beyond, are on that Europe is a place to invest on AI.
Luca, please. And then we'll go to Peter.
Hello, Luca Bertuzzi, MLEX. To what extent will non-European companies be involved in these gigafactories? Will they be, you mentioned AI chips, so I suppose NVIDIA is involved. Will they be involved only in the hardware, or also in the software layer? And what about the investment side? Yeah, that's all.
Most of the vast majority of those stakeholders who express their interest, they are Europeans, but there is also global investors and companies with, and it's also possible for them to invest to those AI factories, or gigafactories. But now we will continue to work with all the stakeholders who express their interest, and Later in autumn we will have the official call. So it's also possible for the global companies to invest to these AI gigafactories, but vast majority were European investors and companies, top industries from Europe, and for them its important perspective was really the tech sovereignty to build up European capacities when it comes to AI.
Thank you very much. Peter.
Peter Hack, Politico. Some industry players have said that they don't only expect support for the for the initial investment, but also to operate these gigafactories? Because, of course, like if energy prices are too high, the cost for startups to access these gigafactories or these supercomputers is also too high, and these could become white elephants, as they say. Is there any plan to also address those operating costs later on?
From our side all the time now, when we are boosting investments to data centers, to cloud infrastructures, to AI factories or gigafactories, of course energy efficiency is one important parameter for us all the time, because we are very committed to climate neutrality, and of course we want to use the best technologies to be also very environmental friendly when we are investing to ICT infrastructures. This is also something that the member states have been very much looking, because there was also many member states, a very big part of our member states are also, they have expressed also the interest. So this is something that member states are of course working also on with the energy part, and we will continue now to cooperation with all of those who were expressing their interest, because we see that we need of course more consortiums there. Because now there were so many who were interested in to invest, but many of them or all of them don't have, for example, consortium, and they don't know who else would be interested in to invest.
Thank you very much. Do we have other questions on the topic of the day? Is it on the topic? No? Then I'll get back to you in a minute. We have one other question online, EVP, for you. Maybe good to clarify. Will we release the name of the companies, if you want to reply to that question?
Not at this stage, because it was part of this express for interest that this was not public. But many of the companies and member states, they have published themselves already their interest. So, but we are not going to do it in this stage, because it was part of this call that this was not binding call and this is not public.
Thank you very much for the clarification. If that closes on the topic of the day, then maybe, yes, indeed, one or two off questions. Maybe Danny, if you want, please take the microphone too before we close.
Hi, Dani Rovirosa from the Spanish news agency EFE. It's on age verification and the guidelines on the DSA protection for minors. You have received a letter some days ago from 10 countries asking for an age verification tool to be mandatory for platforms, not just an optional tool, as it will be the case with the application that the Commission is developing. So I just wanted to know if you are considering to put this mandatory tool in the final version of the guidelines of the DSA.
Mm-hmm. Yes, now we are finalizing the guidelines of protection of minors, and we are planning to publish the guidelines now in July, together with the beta version of this age verification tool, which will be like a pilot project, first part of our digital wallet. But we haven't been working on that with the approach that it should be binding for everybody, because of course our guidelines are also, they are based to our Digital Service Act and based to regulation. And in our regulation, for example, we don't have that kind of basis that for all the services, for example, you should verify your age. But it's very important that now all the social media platforms, that they are taking their responsibilities, because it's also said very clearly in our DSA that when minors are using the services, very high level of privacy, security and safety has to be ensured for the minors. And we know that this is not the case with many social platforms. So they have to also take their responsibilities here, and these guidelines is something that it's now we are using it as a tool also for the online platforms to show that what kind of also practices we are expecting from them, how they should also change the design of their platform, because I see that they should have a safety by design on their services for minors. But I'm sure that with the member states we will continue also this discussion about the age verification, because I see also that there's different cultures in different member states, how the kids and minors, how they are using internet or social media, for example, and which platforms, for example, are famous in different member states. It also differs, and that's why it's important to continue also this discussion. But I think that the most important thing is that the online platforms, they have to take their responsibilities and design their services in a safe and secure way.
Thank you very much. One last question. Marie, je t'en prie.
Hello. Is working? Yes. Thank you for the briefing. Marie-Colin from Context. I have just a question on AI. Could you tell us whether AI Act, and especially the Code of Practice, is one of the topics that will be discussed during the negotiation on US tariff the 9th of July? Thank you.
No, it's not. It's not part of trade negotiations. Did you ask? No, it's not part of that. We are just finalising now the code of practice because the next important milestone will be 2nd of August when AI Act will apply to generative AI, and we want to publish a code of practice before that to support our industry and SMEs also to comply with our AI Act. So this is not part of trade negotiations.
Thank you very much. This closes this press conference. Thank you very much, Executive Vice President, and have a good afternoon.